have to save her. At all costs, I have to save her. Why the stairs are not ending? When will I reach the terrace? Finally, I made it. No. Why are you standing off the railings? No. Don't jump down. No. Please. No. Please. No! Again that dream. Why? What's the meaning of this dream? What's the time? Gosh, it's 9. I have to hurry. Nowadays, it's gone kind of boring. Waking up every morning, rushing for college, hearing to the boring lectures of the professors, and then coming back to the same small, congested, rented flat of mine. Some days, the schedule changes a bit since some days I do part-time job of home tutor. After all these days, I thought I have got used to this stuff. But still now, when I am walking on my way to my college, I am thinking about the way I had dreamed of my college life and how it really is. When I was younger, college life was like a fantasy to me. Having a circle of tons of friends, going to parties, road trips, being popular in the whole college, especially girls, and eventually finding the love of my life. All these, like any other teenager, were my thoughts regarding college life, which had turned totally opposite within a year. So, if I were to describe my current status, it would go on like this. Hi, I'm Sumit Bose, second year student of Calcutta Institute of Technology. Yes, of friends, instead of tons of friends, after months of hardship, I have managed to make one annoying friend, Anurag. Parties and free trips are a far-fetched desire since after paying my college fees and other expenses, I remain left with so less money that some days I have to sleep hungry at nights. In case of popularity, yeah, you can say I am popular, but as the most nerd boy in the college. And also, I have been given an alias, which is, Amal, hurry up! Yeah, this is the alias which one of my college mates who just rode across beside me on his cycle referred to me. And finally, regarding the last point of love of my life, well, it's better not to talk about. So till now, my life has been like this. And that's why I wonder, how will live a life in future? Will it be always be the same? Let's cut this crap and enter the college. While walking through the corridor, I suddenly felt a hand wrapped around my shoulder. Hey bro, what's up? Hearing the voice, I turned aside and saw Anurag beside me. I greeted him with a smile. Hi. He then continued. Thanks, buddy. If you hadn't sent me your assignment yesterday, Professor Das would have smashed me today. Oh, it's my pleasure. Ah. Oh, the treat is on me, okay? Oh, okay. Hey, have you watched Mr. Beast's latest video? You know, in the video, he has... There he goes with his endless babbling about various YouTubers, Twitch streamers, and his own videos on YouTube. Oh, I forgot to tell you since you all may be confused, Anurag has his own YouTube channel, Raggy Gaming, and has over 1 million subscribers. So, that's why he is quite famous in the college. Not only because of this, but also since he has created a quite influential network in the YouTube community, through which he gets various secret news about famous YouTubers, which he shares among the college students in exchange for treats in canteen. Now, you all might be wondering how I got to be friends with such a guy. Then we all have to go a little back in time. That time, I was a fresher in this college and was dealing with anxiety and loneliness all the time. So, it was during the day of semester exams. 1 hour was still left for the exam to end and I had completed my paper, almost. For a moment, I had turned my head and saw a student who was quite tense. He was running over the pages of the question paper, scribbling his head, looking here and there, which had clearly made me realize that he was in serious trouble. That student was Anurag. Actually, I didn't know his name at that time. Then, when I saw that the examiner has moved at the front of the hall, I slightly leaned towards him and whispered in his ear, "Which question?" Hearing my voice, Anurag was shocked at first and then slowly began to say, "Question 3, 4, 6, 8." Like this, he told me all the questions he couldn't answer, which was equivalent almost the whole paper. Then I looked at the wall clock and saw only 45 minutes were left. I quickly hurried and began to dictate him all the answers. At last, a few minutes before the ending of the exam, I had successfully dictated all the answers to him. But as a compensation, I was not able to complete last two questions. While leaving the hall, Anurag stopped me and said, "Thank you, buddy. If it weren't you, I would have failed today's exam." I smiled at him. It's okay. The next day, I was enjoying coffee at the canteen. Suddenly, I heard a voice. "Hi!" I turned around and saw Anurag. "May I join you?" "Yes, sure." Then we began to chat with each other and suddenly developed mutual friendship, which has lasted till now. "Sumit, you need to be careful today, okay?" Hearing this voice, I shockingly looked at him. Rajiv and his friends are really up to something. How do you come to know?" "Oh, come on. You know very well I have a very strong connection of friends. But that's not the priority now. The matter of concern for now is that you have to be very careful since they can get you into some serious trouble." Listening to this, I gave him a smile and said, "Don't worry, what worse can they do to me?" Though I had said this myself, but from inside, I was very much afraid. Rajiv is a fourth year student of my college and also my senior. He and his friends are the group of bullies of this college. They are behind every notorious activities in this college, starting from riots, college politics, and etc. Out of all these, the activity which they like most is ragging of juniors in the college. There are hundreds of victims of their torture, and I am only one of them, but also their most favorite target. From the day I have entered this college till today, there's not a single day I had peace in my life. Starting from making me dance in front of the whole class, dive in pond in college garden during winter, consume a whole bottle of alcohol, and so many more things that I doubt there is any form of ragging left to be done on me. Now, you all may be wondering why haven't I tried reporting the authorities? Well, I had tried, but they weren't of much help since Rajiv's father was the home minister of the state, and so that's why they didn't have the guts to expel him. So all they had done was giving him a warning, nothing else. And from that day, instead of getting relief, the tortures on me had become even more harsher. That's why when Anurag notified me that Rajiv was planning something, I became extra cautious about my each and every movement. While talking with each other, we entered the class and sat beside each other. After sitting down, I looked around and saw that the students, for some unknown reason to me, were smirking while looking at me. I asked Anurag that if he knew something, but he also had no idea. After a few minutes, Professor had entered the class and started his teaching. While the class was going on, I was constantly thinking about the dream which I was having for the last few nights. Why am I having these dreams? Who is that girl? Does this dream mean anything? Where's the mind, Sumit? Suddenly I wake up from my dreams and hearing Professor Das yelling, "Sorry, sir. Final exams are approaching, Sumit. Focus more on your studies. You are the topper of our college. Don't forget." "Sure, sir." Hearing sir's voice, a hope had rose in my heart that there are still some good things left for me in this world. After the class was over, I and Anurag went to the canteen. While on his cup of coffee, Anurag gave me a smile and said, "Look there, my friend." I turned my head and back and saw Ramin, one of my classmates, flirting with a senior girl. He's working up his things again. But yesterday he was only flirting with Neha. Hearing this, Anurag started laughing. Dude, seriously? Do you think the most of handsome boy, crush of every girl in this college, is gonna stick to just one girl? Seriously? He's a playboy, man. He has many more girlfriends other than just Neha and that girl. Listening to this, I began to think how much different my life is from romance. He's the handsome, charming prince of this college. I am just a nerd who is possibly bullied by every student in this college. Life of his is just a dream for guys like us. While chatting with Anurag, I suddenly felt a hand on my. Hey Mumbo, enjoying coffee, huh? Hearing the voice, I turned aside and saw Rajiv. Seeing him, a chill had flown through my body. Yeah, yeah, I was. Rajiv gave me a smirk. Then one of his friends kept a bunch of assignments in front of me on the table. Rajiv then said, "You see, Professor Gus have given us assignments which we have to complete within the next week. But I and my friends are currently busy in the election work. So, can you complete on behalf of us?" Listening to this, Anurag sprang up in protest. "Why are you making him all doing your work?" "Don't poke your underoos, Anurag, or else you know very well what will happen. Um, where was? Yeah, will you please?" Rajiv knew very well that I had no other option, and so do I. So forcefully I replied, "Okay, good." After that, Rajiv and his friends left. Anurag busted with anger. "Why do you not say anything to me, huh? When will you learn to say no?" What else could I have said? You know very well the consequences if I had said no. "But still, if you really care for me, will you help me in completing these assignments? As you see, the load of work is huge." Listening to me, Anurag's expression changed, and he began to laugh. "Your friend's saving is proving to be quite burdensome, you know." After that, we laughed out the matter. After a while, we began to move towards the college to attend the next class. While walking, I suddenly noticed that the students were laughing looking at my back. I and Anurag were totally confused regarding the situation. Then Anurag looked at my back and screamed, "What's that on your back?" He then pulled out a paper from my back and was seeing it with shocking expression. "What is on the paper, Anurag?" Anurag replied with a trembling voice. "No, Sumit, give it to me. Don't, please." I snatched the paper from him, and I was totally dumbstruck seeing it. The paper said, "I am an orphan. Can you adopt me?" At that moment, I felt like getting buried under the ground. The laughter of the students felt like thorns breaking on my body. I began to run aimlessly. Tears were rolling down my eyes. "Sumit, wait! Sumit!" Anurag kept on screaming, but I couldn't stop myself. Wherever I went, I found students laughing at me. After running a while, I reached the corner of the college campus. This place usually remains isolated, so I sat there on a bench and was crying silently. I was constantly thinking, why is my life like this? When will this suffering end? Mom, Dad, why did you leave me? Why did you leave me all alone in this world? It was afternoon at that time. Sun was slowly setting down. Birds were chirping and flying back to their home. A gentle cool breeze was blowing, which will make anyone's heart flutter. Also, a sweet scent was poking my nose, which after a while I realized was coming from the jasmine bloomed on the tree behind me. Experiencing all this, my mood elevated a bit, but still I couldn't stop my tears. Then I heard a voice.
Are you okay?
Hearing that, I lifted up my head and saw a girl. At that moment, I felt like an angel was standing in front of me. Her eyes were round and dazzling like a diamond. Her hair was fluttering like silk in wind. Even her presence felt to me more brighter than the sun. Once I looked into her eyes, I couldn't remove my eyes, even for a moment. Then she lended her handkerchief to me. Receiving it, I wiped my tears and greeted her. Thanks.
It's okay.
Then she began to walk away, and slowly, the more farther she was going, only one question reverberated in my mind. Who was she?